Canberra tonight, actually, against Sydney Thunder. That game starting straight after this one. And no point in bringing him over there as a 12th or 13th man and then not allowing him to have a hit at all. So I think that's pretty smart. So that scoreboard now ticking over to none for 38 here in the 5th over. So that is the 5th over down, and East Torrens are none for 38.
Quarter of the way through the innings. No wickets down, as you say. They'll be very happy with that. Be happy with the way the scoring's going. Both batters have found avenues to the boundary. Leaning through the cover region, and Cramton has gone over square, a couple of towering sixes. Atkins can continue. Again, it's full and wide to Lehman. They're just feeding that cover drive of his. Stacked it with a short cover in the mid-off. He's found them a couple of times, and he'll be sweating on anything that doesn't hit the correct length. And no doubt he'll go over cover. Been pretty impressive so far from Atkins. Tommy does miss his width. Gets that past that cover fielder. Only good for one. Atkinson, I should say.
It's a good solid start, isn't it, here from East Torrens. If you've just joined us, Gully did win the toss and elected to bowl. So they've put East Torrens in, who have raced really to none for 39 here in the 6th over. We reckon 160 will be a good score here. And if they can get that, anything more will be a bonus. So we'll certainly put pressure on Gully.
Cramton's tried the ramp a couple of times. This one was the end result that he was after. About 3 or 4 times he's had a go at it. Atkinson has been pretty close in on him. But the rehearsal's finally paid off. One bounce over the rope.
Just a great combination here. The left-hand, right-hand combination. Lehman playing most balls along the ground, ticking the scoreboard over with 1s and 2s and the odd 4. Cranmer's just been inventive. The right-hander, the captain of the side.
Guinea backs away, but pulls it out to mid-wicket. Didn't get anywhere near enough of it. Take a single.
And certainly a strong lineup still to come, of course. They've got Cormac, of course, to come, and Luke Robins, if you don't mind, who made 66 not out off 19 balls in a 2-day game last Saturday to see East Torrens beat Glenelg in that incredible chase.
Let me go straight back at Atkinson. He does his own fielding, no run.
Yeah, just having a look at the scores on My Cricket during the week. Luke Robins came in. Glenelg was still pretty much, the game was in the balance really. He came in and made 66 not out off 19 balls. I don't think we've ever seen something like that. Almost going at 300. In fact, going at more than 300. So that actually saw East Torrens defeat Glenelg in a big chase.
Lehman plays a pull shot, beats the man in close, and the one out deep, 4.
Gee, this is good batting, isn't it? This is East Torrens, of course, lost the toss. They were sent into bat in these overcast conditions, and they now, well, we've had 6 overs, and they're none for 49.
Yeah, they've slowly built. As we said off the top, the The quality of player at this level, they will make the most of anything that is short, wide, or too full. It's going to be Summerfield to continue. 9 off his first over. Which probably falls in line with how they've all been going. Got a bit of Dan Christian about him at Summerfield. Fallen smash through cover. The sweeper out there's going to do the fielding and keep it to 1.
Certainly a bit of Christian about him, the way he runs in. Bowling those medium paces, not easy to really score off as well, and the ball's not fully coming onto the bat.
You have to make your own pace. Just adjusting the field here. For Cramner, a whole lot of space on that leg side, so he can't afford to drop short at all. It's full, too full. Cramner just whips it off his toes to the line. They get through for 1, which is what they've done really well so far, this pair, is they've turned the strike over when the boundary's not on. So that field for you, got a long on. Well, this is now Lehman. I'll get back to Cramner full and wide, swing and a miss. Got away with it. And for Cramner, third man, point, short cover. Point out in the boundary and a long off, long on. Deep square. A square leg and a man around the corner inside the ring at fine leg. Walks her across his stumps. Showed too many of them. And Summerfield crashed right in the middle. He was happy to move around. It's been a good start though. They lose their first wicket, 50 runs on the board.
Well, he did his job though. He got him off to a good start, Crammer. That's, I know you're never happy when you get out and you like to go on with it, but he got that platform, as you said, Pickles. They got to 50 here in the, well, the 7th over at the moment. So 50 is the partnership, and that is the first wicket. Lehman is still there, of course. So East Torrens, as you see on the replay there, clean bowled was Cranmer off the bowling of Summerfield, and East Torrens are 1 for 50.
Yeah, they got it started. They got the innings started the way they would have wanted. Off and running, 30 off 18 before that. So he can get started, gets them going. Summerfield to continue. There's 1 under his belt already. Lehman just turns that running around the corner, gets himself 1 more. Platform keeps building for him. Ends the over from Summerfield, a good one, a successful one. Got rid of Cramner, who was going very well. Broke that opening partnership that was well set. Got themselves to 50. Now Lace joins Lehman in the middle. Needs to carry on. which is the beauty of this T20 game, is that players just have to keep coming in and keep going. If you're battling for form or battling for time, you either just have to hit out. There's not enough balls in the innings to chew up trying to back your way back into form. It could be a matter of 1-2 overs that change the whole game. And that might be a while of batters attacking as well, Daniel. Has in a couple of overs, and all of a sudden the score's just rocketed. But at the moment, it's only 52. 8 overs gone, 1 wicket down. Spin back into the attack.
Board just ticking over now to 57.
They've dropped out for a second there, but so if you missed us, we're back live. Just missed a boundary. Lace glided one down. Third man for 4, so back live with you now. See, quite a few of you are joining in. Hope you're enjoying the feed.
Bit of a crowd building up as well here. We've got some cars driving in every over, sitting on the side. We've got the grandstand fairly full at the moment. Bit of a crowd coming in to see this big game.
Lace has picked up the camera left off. He's been busy as soon as he got there. But a reasonably easy job when he gets to the wicket straight up, which is just turning it over. And here is that wicket. Walked across this stump, showed too much. Summerfield crashed in the middle. Lehman plays that one straight to long off. One more to his total.
And that is the end of the over. So East Torrens now. We reckon there's 8 overs bowled, 1 for 59.
As we said, there was a game on earlier today. Both these two sides, C grade, played each other. And East Torrens won that game, about 140 to 110, so if you use that as a relative score in the C's, they don't have the hitting power of the boys in the A's, but 140 was too much to chase down. And you said about 160. Well, they're on target for something like that.
I guess that's part of why there's a bit of a crowd here as well. We've got all the C-grade players from both sides hanging around. We've got quite a few family, friends and spectators here. So there's, yeah, decent crowd here. So Lehman, he's the key to this game. He will resume at the crease here. Start of the 9th over. Just plays that one there for another single. East Torrens now moved to 60. We're into the 9th over. Big appeal has been given. Well, that was the wicket they needed. And, well, East Torrens now got a 2 for 60 here in the 9th over as Ironside picks up his first wicket. And that was a big big moment in this game. Adrian Pickles, your thoughts now as East Torrens move now to 2 for 60?
Well, as we said, it can change real quick. Couple of runs, oh, not a couple, massive runs in an over, or a couple of quick wickets. Well, they've lost 2 in quick succession. And Ironside, as we said, picks up his first one. Captain feels pretty good about himself, bringing the spinner into the attack, and he gets one first up, as we see it here again.
Oh, yeah.
Look pretty adjacent.
Ironside was onside there.
Right on the side.
I'll tell you what, they've got a crafty little bowling lineup, this T20 Gully side. A few spinners, a few bowlers that don't really come onto the bat. Atkinson, you've got to say, was the only one with real pace. And a tricky little bowling lineup to have to face.
Look to start a bit low. Straight through cover. Chases on from Summerfield. Wheels it back in. Gets 2 for it.
That's what they've got to do, don't they? They've just got to keep ticking the scoreboard over. And the score now goes to 2 for 62 here in the 9th over. So we reckon they're just slightly below par here, East Torrens. We reckon they'd want to be about on 80 after 10 overs, and right now they're on 63 after, well, we're into the 9th over. So just slightly below where perhaps they'd want to be at the moment.
Again, they bowl full and wide to Lehman, give him no option to get underneath it. Ends the over, a good one, successful from Ironside.
So I reckon that's 9 overs gone, and they're 2 for 64. Top edge, gets away with it, so that's the bit of luck East Torrens needed. Almost makes it, good fielding there, and good running. So East Torrens, 3 to Lehman, and he's looking dangerous. Number 30, Cormac, has joined him. That's Mike Cormac, of course. He's well, he's been on the Redbacks and Strikers lists as well over the years, so what a lineup they've got. And I'll tell you what, Luke Robin's still to bat. The man who made 66 off 19 balls last week in a 2-day game to see East Torrens defeat Glenelg. So really, almost batting now as if it's the middle overs of a 50-over game. East Torrens just ticking the scoreboard over. Cormac and Lehman, both very experienced players. And well, as exciting as it is for Lehman to be out there, these for Teacher Gully to play against him. They want to get him out now. So if you just joined us, Teacher Gully did win the toss earlier today. They did elect to bowl, and we're currently in the 10th over. And East Torrens are 2 for 69. Well, trying to invent something there. So we reckon they're just slightly below par at the moment.
On work to the leg side. Paul Bonds is just stuck in the box here for a second. Well, Adrian Pickles has gone off to try and solve a problem, solve the world's problems. Has just got an issue with our scoreboard. So I hope you're enjoying the coverage. It's by Adelaide live stream.
So that's 10 overs gone. Bonds, and 2 for 70 is the score. So on target for 140 at the moment if they keep going at this current run rate.
And Gullies have done well to slow them up because they got off to a bit of a flyer with Lehman and Cranmer. Just restricting the field here with their slow bowlers. Moving down the track, well fielded off his own bowling. Rings the hand a bit. One stung. Daniel?
Yeah, this is Ironside, of course, isn't it? The spinner who's, as you said, they've got a pretty crafty bowling lineup. They've got these spinners, slow bowlers, and really making it difficult for these Torrens batsmen to, I guess, to create the pace.
Little lap shot there. Well played by Lehman. Won't go to the boundary. He'll pick up 3.
Oh, it's good running and just good play. And as long as Lehman's there, you've got to say East Torrens are still in a very good position. We know that run rate is slightly below where they'd want it to be. It's about 7 and over. But with Lehman, Cormac at the crease, and with Luke Robin still to come in, there's still some firepower out there for East Torrens.
Good shot through the cover. There's protection out there, but it's wide enough for that fielder to come back for 2.
There's a lot of singles, isn't there? A lot of twos, a lot of singles. It's not all crash and bash, is it? When T20 started, we all thought it was all just hit and giggle, 6 and 4 every ball, or a dot ball if you miss one. And, well, he didn't miss that. That's 4. So Cormac now, he's joined the party. It's just clever batting, isn't it? Lehman, Cormac, they're just hitting most balls for a single or 2, and then when they get the odd one, or the odd bad ball, they're punishing it. And that's exactly what we mean. Just nothing wrong with that shot at all. Just played it for a single and no risk involved. And Ironside, you'd say, getting a bit frustrated here.
It's just good batting at this stage, building an innings.
And 11 off this over already, so the score's raced to 2 for 81 here in the 11th over.
Again, that little lap sweep over the top. Fielder's there to collect it, so just the single this time. It's quite a short boundary as the over ends. It's the end of 11, 2 for 81. The Reds. That short side of the boundary is to the right of camera, as you see it. Could be more than 60 metres, Daniel. Maybe 65 tops.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. It's certainly short boundaries here. It's not, of course, like playing on the Adelaide Oval, so it's a footy ground as well. Ross Trevor Old Collegians, I believe, this is their home ground in the Adelaide Footy League.
And a magnificent new facility here at Campbelltown Memorial Oval. Went for a bit of a walk through there before. Fantastic thing. That one swung away into the car park. That's 6.
Well, that's that short boundary Bonds has been speaking about, and I tell you what, even the Adelaide Oval boundary would have been cleared there, perhaps even the MCG.
Absolutely. Good shot.
That is out onto the main road there. And I tell you what, we've still got the remnants of that tree falling down out there.
It was an unbelievable scene. You just missed it, Daniel, but it was an incredible scene to see that tree, hear the tree, the noise from the tree falling. See that shot again. The car park.
So I guess what can come out of all that is just don't park in that car park. Either a tree's going to hit you or the ball.
Just trying to find out where this ball's gone again. We almost lost the ball before.
Certainly glad I parked on the other side of the ground, the more longer boundary.
Well, it actually fell onto the road, so it was quite dangerous. And there was a beehive in there, and one of our camera crew went over to his car because his car was in that area, and he got attacked by bees. So it's a hard job filming cricket. You get attacked by bees.
Gee, it's, and this weather is playing. Well, it's tricky weather out there as well. It's either a heat wave going on or it's overcast and windy.
Well, just quietly, Daniel, I'm really happy that it's 25 degrees today and not 46 like it was yesterday in Adelaide.
Yep.
And again, hats off to all their firefighters doing a marvellous job the last few days.
And of course, Bonds, they did cancel, didn't they? All the 2020 games that were scheduled to be played, I reckon, about 4:30 yesterday. There was meant to be round 2 of this competition. That now has been moved to Tuesday, January 24. Tuesday, January 14. So this is round 3 of the Saka Premier T20 comp.
It's a bit of a mixture, isn't it? There's games midweek and and on the weekend it's a little bit confusing to keep up with, but by the end we'll have semi-finals and final at Karen Rolton facility. The 2 semis will be there and the grand final on January 20, and it'll be brought to you by Adelaide Live Stream. It's the West End Premier League and the Saka. Bring you live streams of grade cricket right across the summer. We've gone through the women's comp and that was a huge success. The Southern District's Stingrays taking the title. Jess O'Reilly, one of our fellow commentators at Saka for Shield Cricket. Captained her team to a big win. So they've lost the ball. And the umpires, it's not international cricket here, so they don't have a third umpire running out with a box of balls. So they're going to have to find a ball that's suitable.
Players having a chat, umpires are walking off.
Just going through the bag of warm-up balls. What do you think of that one? Is that one all right?
And there's no fines, of course, if they don't get the overs in time. There's no, obviously in the Big Bash, you've got to get your 20 overs in, an hour and 20 minutes normally. Sometimes they've scheduled it out to an hour and a half, as we see.
That beautiful club room, isn't it?
Oh, it's a magnificent facility. I did play one football game here for Oldic Nations in 2005, and they certainly didn't have all these, the facilities weren't like as they are now, but it's a magnificent ground.
So again, umpire's just looking for a suitable replacement for this ball. It's somewhere near 12 overs old.
So if you've just joined us, East Torrens, of course, we're into the 12th over. They lost the toss and have been put into bat, and in the 12th over, they're 2 for 88.
And we apologise for lack of scoreboard on screen. We just got some technical issues with my cricket. Just not talking to our software at the moment, so we do apologise. Our techs are working on that as we speak.
It's almost like an extended drinks break here.
So if you are tuning in, we are at Campbelltown Memorial Oval. East Torrens playing T20 Gully in the West End T20 Cup. Match not starting soon, the match has started. But just waiting for a new ball to be retrieved. The umpires have gone through the bag of balls. I think they've found one they like. Here they are. And they'll show that to the batters. Jake Lehman will go, yeah, it's white and it's round, I don't care. Here's another one I can lose.
It's a strong lineup, isn't it? Of course, Adam Zampa has played a little bit for East Torrens this season and over the last couple of years. Kane Richardson did used to play for East Torrens. He used to play for Woodville as well.
Played for Woodville as well, yeah.
Played in the premiership for Woodville, I reckon.
Yeah, he did.
With Chad Sayers. He now plays for West Torrens. And the late Phil Hughes, of course, did play for East Torrens as well.
That one's worked out to the offside. And also defending champions, the Reds, as Adrian Pickles will make his way back into the commentary box.
Yeah, that's what a side they've got. And when you've got the likes of Lehman in the side, well, you're a strong chance of winning. He's one of the best batsmen in Australia. Certainly one of the best batsmen in South Australia, and he's in the Adelaide Strikers 18-man squad, of course. Jake Lehman is. He's in the Redbacks team. And he's actually made a Sheffield Shield double 100. That's how good he is, Jake Lehman. So, well, this is just keeping that scoreboard ticking over. It's almost going to go, and it does. Well, there's another 4.
You're walking the tightrope there. Walking the tightrope there, but then the ball got to the rope.
And this partnership now, well, the score's raced now to 91 here in the 12th over, and we spoke about that run rate being a little bit down. They were only on 70 after 10 overs. Well, they've put on 21 in the last 2 overs, and that run rate is certainly moving.
Pushed out to extra cover, no run. Strong offside field.
So that is now the end of the 12th over, and East Torrens are 2 for 95.
Jack Lehman 36 not out. There with Cormac, who's 13 not out.
So they've actually put on 25 in the last 2 overs. I said it was 21. They've actually put on 25. So that score now, 95 after 12 overs. Getting it back up there to that 160 target we've spoken about.
Lehman lays back on one from Ironside, glides it away to third man. Thought about the second. Thought better of it. Ironside back into the attack. He took one when he came in earlier. Still pretty overcast here. Wind and hasn't blown up. Threatened to a couple of times. I reckon we're just hovering around about that predicted top of 26. There's my go at being a weatherman.
Feels a bit cooler than that.
This one's high and long. In fact, it's not long at all. It's gone straight up in the air. Ironside does his own work eventually. Well, it popped out for a second look. Cormac's got to go.
It's a great call, Pickles. Magnificent. It did pop out and he took it in the end. It went straight up in the air and not easy with the white ball and the white sky, as you see on replay.
Yeah, we thought it was coming down towards where we're situated. In fact, it went straight up in the air. Ironside did well. He got straight underneath it. And fortunately for him, it didn't pop out too far.
Every time East Torrens look like they're going to get away, they lose a wicket, don't they? This strong T20 Gully side, it's almost the clash of the Titans, really, because they've both been absolute powerhouses, haven't they, in recent seasons?
Certainly have. Well, they lose nothing with Luke Robins coming to the crease.
Well, he's come off 66 not out off 19 balls last Saturday in a two-day game. Not a 2020 game, a two-day game.
Lehman plays that one off his toes to long on, gets one more for himself.
Luke Robins, of course, has played Sheffield Shield cricket for South Australia this season and in the one-day. Well, he's played in the one-days as well for South Australia, so they've got two South Australian batsmen out there at the moment. What a luxury to come in at number 5. And he's he should be opening the bowling a bit later today as well.
His brother listed to come in next. He gets himself off the mark. With a quick punch and run to cover. So Ironside been a bit of a revelation here so far. Wickets in both of his overs. Get it straight. Work from Lehman to mid wicket, and he's rapid his Ironside. Did the fielding at mid wicket, kept it to 1.
Certainly an interesting bowling lineup, isn't it? Just a lot of spin, a lot of medium pace. They only had Atkinson, of course, who was that really out and out fast bowler.
This time it's long, it's big, over the fence, and 6. So Luke Robins wasting no time. Punched one to cover to get off the mark. Then the next one he got was right in his wheelhouse. And he swung through the line. Long levers. You might have just seen on that replay the anguish of Ironside after the connection. He knew that was going to be a big one.
Well, he spoke about how well Ironside had bowled, and he had, and that's just pretty much ruined his figures there, that last ball. And Robins, we keep speaking about him, but that's what he can do on the second ball he's faced. He's now 7 off 2 balls, and East Torrens now moved to 105.
Well, 6 overs remaining in the innings means anyone coming in from now has got the green light. You're going in there with Jake Lehman, who's 7 overs remaining, maybe. Jake Lehman, who's well and truly set and can score at quick pace himself anyway. So you're going to be bowling at two batters.
Yeah, it's a bit of confusion, is there, with the scoreboard, but I reckon, Pickles, this is the 14th over, the start of the 14th. So I reckon,
rather than the way they're reading it as the finished of.
Yep. So I reckon including this over, there's 7 overs to go.
So it's a Storeth, the new bowler.
And Lehman, believe it or not, the star batsman in this game, he's almost been the one who's just gone about things quietly, just ticking the scoreboard over with 1s and 2s and the odd boundary. Lehman's on 48 not out from 32 balls, but you almost haven't noticed him. It's almost been the likes of Cranmer and Cormack, who now Robins, who've played the bigger shots.
Robins again just punches one this time. It's to mid-wicket. Second run isn't on. Now I'm with you, Frangers. I think that everything might be running just either an over or a ball behind. I've got him down as 49. But we'll certainly find out when he scores his next run. If he does, Stratoreth will be looking to pick him up. Walks across, then slaps it to long off. Gets himself to 1. And gets himself to 49, it'll seem. So,
well, I reckon it's a pretty simple thing to say, but these two players at the moment, Robins and Lehman, if they stay there to the end of the 20 overs, East Torrens, well, they're going to make a massive score, aren't they? And they probably should win this game. These two batsmen get out, different story.
Robin turns one off his hip. Got enough on it to beat the keeper in Holiday. And he's going at a rapid pace. It's Luke Robins. Six about 3 balls back and then a 4 to follow it up. Said on the replay here, just turned it round the corner, no chance for the keeper. Raced down to the boundary for 4. Right up in the block hole from Strathoris.
Yeah, Luke Robins, of course, as we said, he's come in and batting in the top 6 or 7 normally for East Torrens. Batted around 10 or 11 though for South Australia, which obviously it's a higher level, and you've got other guys who can bat, but he certainly wouldn't be the worst to throw in if the Adelaide Strikers needed some injury cover for a bowling all-rounder. He wouldn't be the worst guy to actually come in.
And he gets one wide outside off stump and he flat bats it to long off. Going to be happy to settle at 1. As you've said, he just keeps turning the strike over. Well, that's certainly got to be a 50.
Oh, it's got to be his 50, doesn't it? He's so Lehman now 50, and we reckon East Torrens now are 3 for 114 off 14 overs.
Not sure how technical the we reckon score chart is, but we're going to go strong and stay with it. Noddle, who opened the bowling, is going to come back into the attack. Bit of confusion in the box. Arms in the air. Bees around the place.
Trees falling down.
Trees falling down. It's been mayhem out here.
Oh, geez.
But the Adelaide live stream team continue on. Adrian Pickles here. Daniel Frangos, Paul Bonza in the truck. Lehman paddles that run. Might get 2 if they want to get going. Now, it was good work from Ironside. Flew in off the rope. And that's his 51. So eventually he got there, in according to the numbers. Got another one.
Well, there you go. Robins is pretty important here, isn't he? He's the type of player who can hit 20 or 25 off and over.
Slaps that one down the ground. Got cover back there, mid on and mid off. A set back deep on the rope. I think with both of these, the left and the right-handers, maybe the leg side might be too long for Jake Lehman here. Just chips it. It's going to land inside the rope. Everyone on that leg side was set deep. Piece of work from Ironside, but couldn't stop 2 runs. But with no one inside the ring on that leg side, would have been the simplest of catches to the regulation mid-wicket. So Paddles wants to get it past the man who is inside the ring. Around the corner he does. Foot race. It's going to be reeled in by Atkinson, the big quick. Can't stop Lehman getting back for 3.
It's good batting, isn't it? He actually made a golden duck last Saturday, playing against Glenelg here on this very ground, the game that Robins came in and made that quick fire 66 not out to win the game.
Noddle had the nerve to throw it up. We'll see if Luke Robins would come to the party. He did. Robins goes again this time. Up, underneath it. They stare and watch. That one lands in the entertainment area. He loves to finish the over off of spinners with a 6. It's the second time he's done it. And when he goes long, he goes big and he hits them clean, Luke Robins.
I've spoken about him as the danger man almost more than Lehman, and that's why. That's what he can do. If these two are out there to the end, as I've said, they're going to make a massive score. So T20 Gully should be worried. They've got to get wickets now, don't they? They cannot just contain these two. It's a simple game. They've got to actually get, they've got to get these two out.
And with this short boundary on what is the right-hand side of your screen now, with both the left and the right-handers in the game, in every over, there's an opportunity for one of them to swing across the line and get maximum points. Just like that, he wanted to go sideways. The top edge sailed over the keeper's head and raced down to our commentary box. 4 more to Lehman. Not conventional, but he'll take them.
Well, it's getting away, this partnership now. The score goes to 131. We've got 29 balls left. Spoken about getting to 160. Well, they can get there and then launch again. Perhaps target 170 now or 180.
Lehman gets one. Not going to be caught. Just over the rope. 4-6. He's put the foot down as Jake Lehman.
I'll tell you what, that was in the air. It was swirling around. As we see the replay of the 4 before, but it just got over the rope. And that's now 10 off 2 balls.
Awful way to start the over for Strathoris. Doesn't leave him too much place to go because he's well and truly behind the 8 ball. Every run from now on in this over is a bonus. Lehman well and truly in front. Squirts one out. The man at a point, just going to get one. Leave the second half of the over to Luke Robins to do some hitting. Long boundary for him now. He's on that left-hand side.
This is great signs for the Adelaide Strikers, of course. Lehman in that 18-man squad. Didn't make the 13-man touring party, of course, to go to Canberra today to play against the Sydney Thunder. But Lehman, this innings will give him some confidence. It'll give Jason Gillespie some confidence to perhaps pick him for the next game.
Muffled shout for a squeeze down the leg side. Well, the umpires are going to get together here and see maybe if this one carried. Well, in what I thought was a bit of a non-event, they're going to have a second look at.
Now, this is a big moment.
And end result of that is no. Didn't carry. The keeper, Holiday, wants a further explanation. Here's the replay. Tickled down leg side. And you can't see the front on angle that shows the half volley bounce or not.
Bowler didn't even appeal, which makes it interesting. He didn't even appeal, so I'm not sure if he even asked whether or what he was asking, but the keeper was really the only one who appealed.
Again, it's up around the hip of Robins, and he gets himself one for it, gets off strike. Expensive over this one. Still not finished from Torrens. These two came together and the score was 3 for 96. It's now
3 for 139, so they've put on 43 in quick fire time, really. They've almost turned this game.
Lehman goes long. Man out there though. Catch is taken it long off.
No ball. No
Off
ball.
no.
Can you believe it? That is a big moment, and there will now be an extra ball in this over. He's not out, of course, and a free hit. Well,
I was expecting a much bigger reaction for the what would have been the prize wicket of Jake Lehman. I saw none of it.
what I found strange was Lehman was running really quickly for a 2. And I was wondering, why is he sprinting so hard for a 2? If you see here on the replay, well, he knew it was a no ball.
It was a pretty early call, so he didn't know that and played the shot there, but that's exactly why that's exactly why he ran hard for 2. So this one, the free hit. Robins gets a good piece of it. Gets it behind square for 4. He's come to the crease. He was 13 off 5 balls before that.
I'll tell you what.
Make it 17 off 6.
What a dangerous late order player he is. He can come in anywhere in the lineup, anywhere in the top 6 or 7. And I mean, what he did last Saturday was incredible stuff. A strike rate of over 300 in a 2-day game was. If you ever look at on My Cricket, you ever look at East Torrens vs Glenelg from last weekend, you'll see every batsman was scoring at 50 or 60 at their strike rate, and he came in and scored at 300 to win the game. He made 66 not out off 19 balls when the game was in the balance at the end.
He's certainly making an impact here today for East Torrens. There's got to be Summerfield come back into the attack. He's got the unenviable task of seeing if he can help close out this innings. Going to 2 men who are well and truly set. Lehman, who's 69, and going as easy as he's ever gone. And Robins, who's scoring for fun. Lehman this time smacks it through point. Burst through the hands. The fielder out there gets himself 1. Wind just starting to pick up now.
Hopefully no more trees fall down out here.
Yeah, we've situated ourselves in a pretty clear spot, so if they do go down, it won't affect us, which is a very selfish way to think of it.
And that scoreboard now, East Torrens are 3 for 146. We're into the 17th over. And these two have now put on 50. They came together, as Adrian Pickles said earlier, at 3 for 96. They've now put on 50. And Lehman, if you've just joined us, is 69 not out off 42 balls. And Robins is 25 off 11.
Robins gets behind square. That one again is fielded. It's going to be some sore hands in the T20 Gully room at the end of the innings. Robins and Jake Lehman are giving it every piece. There's certainly no bunt and run stuff occurring here in the last innings, which is already at 147. Well bowled. Right up in the block hole from Summerfield. Hard to hit those ones over the rope.
Pickles, you obviously follow the Big Bash League, and you've been, following the Adelaide Strikers the last, since their inception, of course. Lehman's often batted at about number 6, hasn't he? There's been many games where he hasn't even got a bat, or he's come in with one ball to go, or...
Again, Summerfield bowling full, but Luke Robin's putting on a real display at the moment. Worked that ball that was on his toes, through mid-wicket, that powered its way to the rope. And he's just dealing in boundaries at the moment.
This is just magnificent to watch. But just speaking of Lehman, perhaps the Adelaide Strikers could use a bit of this, bat him up the order a bit, bat him at number 3 or even open. He seems to be a bit wasted down at 6 or 7, doesn't really get a bowl, and perhaps it's not really his spot because it hasn't worked for him, has it? If you look at his T20 record for the Adelaide Strikers, it's not a good record. And perhaps he's not really getting much of a chance.
Dug it in a bit shorter. Robin's got underneath it but couldn't get it over the rope. They converged on it out there. Just kept it to 1. Good piece of fielding. This wind is starting to play a part. Yeah, I think if you bat anywhere lower than 4 in a T20 side, well, you're on a hiding to nothing because you're going to be coming in with minimal balls to go, and you're always going to be go in there and swing. Thought about scampering through for 1, then made the smart decision, get back, ends the over, a pretty good one. Included a boundary, but it was full. It was straight.
Well, that's 17 overs gone, and they're 3 for 153. So 18 balls left. 3 overs to go. And we reckon, I'll tell you what, we said 160 at the start would be a good score. But they're going to get that. Perhaps their next target would be, let's try to get 9 and over, 180 off our allotted 20 overs. So the Reds really doing well here.
Again, it's full. And a rarity. Robins chalks up a dot ball. So Gatting has bowled 6 bowlers because I think the danger is going to be one of those spinners having to bowl with both of these players still in. So if he can manipulate his bowlers that either one of the spinners doesn't have to bowl, then he's done well. Oh. That one's full, money for old Rope. Luke Robin sweats on him. And it was 6 the minute it hit his bat. You heard the groan from Frangos.
Well, my car's out there.
Is that what that was? I thought it was appreciation of the shot. It would have gone straight through your car.
Yep, well, it was appreciation of the shot, but it was also, oh no, my car's out there.
There's not too many cars out there. There's a couple of broken branches. Summerfield on the long run. He's taken off on a triathlon. How far has he gone? That's the big scoreboard. He's somewhere in behind there. We might see him. There he is, going to reappear.
For a run around the block.
So as he comes back in, he'll probably get himself a drink, you would think, when he come back over the fence, because every other player's taking a drink. So we wait for him to come back over the fence. He'll be the one huffing and puffing, and they'll be ready to go.
It's nice when you talk a bloke up in Robins before he came out to bat, and he's actually delivered. This is just exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, a chance for you to feel like you actually know something about the game, and you've come up trumps with playing the Luke Robins card.
Well, he has played for South Australia this season, of course, but he's a bowler. He's pretty much a bowler. He bats at 10 or 11 in the Sheffield Shield side, or even in the one days. But what he's shown out here this season for East Torrens, well, and the previous seasons, is that could he be a dangerous swingman?
Well, full on-leg stump was never going to be the option. I'm sure Strathoris wasn't aiming for that.
He's 31 now from 14 balls. Here's Robins.
That one's full, pulled away. They've got some coverage out there. Summerfield again. He faced 14 balls and 5 of those had gone either to or over the rope.
A pretty star-studded side, considering Adam Zampa, of course, has played a few games for him this season as well. The Australian one-day international bowler.
Lehman walks across his stumps. That one goes straight up in the air, and the catch has been spilled out there at mid-off. Strathoris can't believe it.
Well,
it's having a dirty day out there at mid-off. I'll see if I can pick up who that is for you. I think it might be Macy. He's taking a catch off Lehman on a no ball, and he got a second bite of the cherry and spilled it. Robins this time backs away. I thought I heard a nick.
Yeah, I thought I heard one too. So I reckon that's the luck of the game at the moment. Drop catches off no balls, and then a nick behind that doesn't carry. So East Torrens now are 161. They've got that target of 160 we spoke about. Can they launch here to get perhaps 180?
Robbins dances around the crease, tries to create some havoc, gets the ball he's after, and flicks it off his toes, past the man inside the circle at fine leg for 4 more. End of the over from Strathoris, one he'd like to forget. East Torrens continue on their merry way.
Yeah, that's 18 overs gone, and they're now 3 for 165.
Jake Lehman has just crawled along, snuck up on us all. He's now 71 off just 45.
It's incredible, isn't it? He's 71 off 45, but he's been overshadowed by the likes of Cranmer, Cormac, and now Robins, who have really played some more expansive shots.
This time he tries to go through point. They take the run. Dicey one it was, but had to be a direct hit to get the result. Only the one stump to aim at, so worth the roll of the dice, certainly with this score on the board. Ravens marches down at Summerfield. Maybe just be overdoing it a touch here, Luke Robins. He's played some of his best shots when he's been still at the crease. That time he walked himself into a Yorker. And the last one, although he did get it down the final leg for 4. Again, well bowled from Summerfield. Robins wanted to come. Lehman sent him back. Smart call.
Gee, they're going to have some bit of work to do, T20 Gully, to rope this one in. I'll tell you what, because Robins is also a very good fast bowler as well. So they've got a good side in. They've got his brother playing as well. He's a bowling all-rounder as well.
Tries to go the ramp. Wanted to flick it directly back over the keeper's head.
Cormac and Cranmer can bowl as well. I'll be interested to see whether Jake Lehman will have a look at the replay here. So that was close.
Sure, we'll have a second look at it and come up with a reason why. It's hit him right on the foot, right in front as far as I'm concerned, but the umpire gave it no consideration. Full again from Summerfield, but it's smashed back down the ground. Cover down there, only going to get one. A good loud call. Bowls a great length at the death here to Summerfield. Doing a sensational job for his skipper.
Yeah, he's one of the leading wicket takers in the two-day comp. He's Summerfield. I think Will Basisto is not only leading the batting aggregate, but the bowling as well.
One of the great names of great cricket.
I reckon we've commentated him before for WA against SA. Now he's obviously moved over here.
You would think that's to be a part of the Adelaide live stream, where all the big players come.
Well, that is 19 overs gone now. East Torrens are 3 for 170. So 1 over to go. 6 balls left. Can East Torrens get 10 more runs to get that magical 180, which, well, you sense what they've got now is good enough. Robins is 42 not out off 19 balls. He's hit 4 fours and 3 sixes. And Jake Lehman is 72 off 46 balls.
Yeah, 180 seems to be a mark in T20 cricket that teams put on themselves to achieve, to get to that. They know they've got a good score. But as this game progresses, I'm sure that score will get further and further out, and where 200's the pass mark. Lehman taking guard a long way in front of off stump. He's right across his stumps. Swings across the line. And he's just going to get the one. It's going to bring Robins on strike, giving him 5 balls if he wants to cue them up to see if he can manufacture 8 runs and make a rapid 50 here in the second half of this T20 innings.
Well, he's, as we said, played for South Australia this season in Sheffield Shield and 50 over cricket. Yet to make his Big Bash debut, so that's perhaps his next target. So he could be on the radar of all 8 of the teams.
Atkinson bounces him. Might have gone over his head. Was a no ball called from square leg. Maybe it was just the signal was that it went over his shoulder, and that was the first one. So I'll correct that. The score remains. Getting it short from Atkinson, but pulled beautifully by Luke Robins. Raced away to the boundary for 4. He plays that shot with elegance, doesn't he?
Absolutely magnificent. He's just picking. There's 2 fieldsmen out there, believe it or not, that you'd think would be able to get it, but he's hitting it so quickly, and actually the fieldsmen now moving around to see if they can protect that area. Well, they're trying to protect the whole ground at the moment. As Robins goes to 46.
That one, he got underneath it. Getting back there on the rope. A long time in the air, and catch has been taken. Luke Robins, his innings, it was short, it was fast, it was furious, but it did the job. He did a lot of damage. Comes to an end. And probably ironic that it came in the same way that it got started, with a massive towering shot. It went 1 too long, but that ball was in the air for an eternity.
They've fielded well, T20 Gully. Besides the 1 drop catch, take away that, their ground fielding's been magnificent on the boundary. They've, I cannot remember a misfield, and that's a very good catch. So, but what an innings from Robins, 46 off 21 balls, and has really turned what could have been about a 150, 160 score into something that's now 175 in the final over.
They could have run for it. He could have got his 50 by the time the catch was taken. So Atkinson finish off. Is wide to Lehman, who swings. And swings over the top of it, gets through to Daly.
So East Torrens are 4 for 175. We're into the last over here. And Robin's 46. What an innings it was. Lehman's been there since ball one. Can he stay out there and carry the bat? I guess it's not carrying the bat when you're not bowled out, but he's still going to be there for the whole 20 overs.
Walks across in front of off stump. Long way, his ball goes up in the air as well. Another wicket for Atkinson in this last over. It is the last ball of the innings. Jake Lehman out off the last ball of the innings. Ends the innings for East Torrens. And they've set themselves a pretty good platform when they come out to bowl and see if it's enough runs, but 175 runs. Jake Lehman, the star. He made 75 and Luke Robins had given great support. 46 he made. As T20 Gully walk off the ground, they'll go into the sheds, they'll set themselves some plans, they'll work out where they need to be at certain times. And we'll make sure that we come back and cover all that for you on Adelaide live stream. When T20 Gully try to chase it down, don't go anywhere. This is live cricket here on Welcome back to Campbelltown Memorial Oval for the second half of our live stream today as East Torrens take on T20 Gully. East Torrens have already been out there. They opened up the day. They posted 176 runs on the back of Jake Lehman, a 75. He was out off the last ball. He faced the first ball. He was out off the last ball. And he had great support from Luke Robins, who went on a bit of a hitting display. He was 46. Caught on the rope in the last over as well, off about 15 balls. But East Torrens are now out there with the ball. And T20 Gully are going to see if they can rope this in. They won the toss, T20 Gully, and elected to bowl, so their preference is to bat and chase them down after they know what they've got to do. And two opening batters who had an impact with the ball. The young offie Ironside and also Summerfield, who was excellent at the death. They're going to try to get this thing started. It wasn't bash and crash from East Torrens. They just went about their work and made sure they got anything dangerous away. Robin's first one is down leg side as a wide one and well taken from Cornish.
Yes, Robins is just come in and he's made that 46, hasn't he? And now opening the bowling, so pretty important to the East Torrens lineup. We've got Cranmer, of course, Cormac, Lehman, and a lot of all-rounders in this side.
Be close if he hits, but he misses. And Summerfield gets himself off the mark. T20 Gully underway. It's Tate Robins, the fielder at mid-on. Another big boy, a bit bigger than his brother Luke. We'll see him with the ball shortly. A couple out there without the caps on. A bit rare, but the conditions are suitable. Robins bowls one full in the block hole. Onside pushes it to mid-on, to square, goes to point rather. And he now is also off the mark. Gets himself two. Wind's starting to blow up quite a lot. You'll see players top blowing around. Kenny goes back with a point Ironside.
What's the strategy here, do you think, Pickles? Do you think they're going to just try to keep wickets in hand, perhaps just tick the scoreboard over, 6-7 and over, and then launch, or they've got to go from ball one here? So the target's 176 if you've just joined us. 9 and over almost, so...
So if he gets a wide one, spoons it though. Straight to Cormac, takes the catch at cover. Robins, who was destructive with the ball, or with the bat, is doing the same thing with the ball in the very first over.
Well, that is, it almost answers the question I posed there. That was almost in between, wasn't it? Trying to just pierce the field and straight to the fieldsman. And Summerfield, well, he's gone.
It might have been laced with the catch, but it's a bit of a nothing shot, a bit of a half and half shot. We wanted to drive it through and also wanted to loft it over cover, but was caught in between doing either, and just spooned the easy for catches to Lacey in that cover position and got the na-na-na goodbye chant powering out of the the speakers here.
So Gadding is the new man at the crease. The skipper for T20 Gully has been in good form, hasn't he? Joe Gadding, and made some big runs last Saturday, or last game. So
he was 50. He was 64 not out in a losing side.
Yep.
Interesting stance from Ironside.
Yeah, that's a good start, isn't it, though, from Luke Robins and East Torrens. And the end of the first over, T20 Gully, well, they're 1 for 6.
Yeah, some of the things that you asked me in regards to how did T20 Gully play this one is, I think that they would have. I think they will have just little marks throughout their innings that they want to be hitting, and they'll either be runs or wickets lost. So it might be we don't want to lose a wicket in the first 4 overs, or we only want to lose 1 wicket in the first 4 overs, or whatever that might be. I'm making it up on the fly. And the other options also, of course, are going to be, at this point in the innings, we need to have this much under our belt to allow these players to launch. And that also then revolves around having certain players left to launch. So there'll be certain players in that lineup who will have, look, your role is to come in and get 12 off 4 balls. So that's what we need you to do. But Cramner's going to open up the bowling from the other end, open the bat and the bowl. Starts with a shorter one on leg side. That's under 12s type stuff, isn't it? Open the bat and open the bowl.
When you got Luke Robins, who's been a key batsman and now a key bowler. As I said, they do have a lot of all-rounders. Cormack's another one. Lehman could bowl 4 overs, couldn't he? He often bowls at first-class level, so they've certainly got some players that may not get a bat or a bowl for East Torrens.
Reverse sweep. Wrapped on the pads. Was Ironside, but not out the call. So we might have a good look at this stance from side on. Now this is going to be Gadding, so we'll go next time around. Gadding goes up over, mid-off. Didn't take him long to get going. Couple of bounces into the fence.
Gee, that is confidence, isn't it? That is a man in form because, as you said, the ball's not coming onto the bat. He's just come to the crease and, to hit that one over the top. Wasn't a bad ball either. It was on the stumps.
He goes long to mid-on. Gets himself 1, gets off strike. So now Ironside on strike. So the side on camera might give us a real good look at this stance, because it looks as though his head is pushing a long way forward. He spoons one, a good piece of work at cover. In fact, mid-off, a couple of dives. Kept it in. Got the applause of the bowler. The ball was motoring, but Ironside got himself 2. So as he gets himself set, has his bat high above his head and then looks really to lean forward. And it certainly not regular. Spoons one to mid-wicket, gone. Ironside, he's out as well. So Cranmer in his first over picks up a wicket. And that wouldn't have been in the recipe at all. Drop your openers in the first 2 overs of the game.
Well, what a start from East Torrens. The reigning champions, aren't they? What a side they've got. You see the replay. 2 pretty, well, you've got to say, regulation dismissals that have just trying to hit through it, trying to hit a boundary, but they're 2 down now. And that is 2 for 16 in the second over.
Yeah, well, look, you've either got to go or you don't. And that's what Gully, just what East Torrens did really well. Their singles were only ever single shots. And when they went big, they went big. So they didn't play with any half measures. Tim Davey, who comes to the crease with a load of experience under his belt and plenty of time to bat. He's got 18 overs to resurrect this innings.
Yeah, he's played for South Australia, of course, as a wicket-keeper batsman in Sheffield Shield. Played a handful of games. He played also one days for South Australia. Interestingly, not keeping at the moment in the Gully side, though, even though he's kept for South Australia. They've got Holiday, who's keeping. So perhaps he just wants to focus on his batting in the pretty much the twilight of his career. But he's
lengthen getting a couple of extra years out of himself.
Yep.
Going down leg side. Cornish made hard work of it as well. Wide called.
So these are the two key men you've got to say, don't you, for Gully, Gatting and Davey. The key batsmen really need a big partnership here. Or, well, East Torrens will be, of course, right on top. So really crucial little stage of this game.
Davey thought about going, almost committed to the run from Gatting. Couple of stutter steps, he wanted to go. Gatting wasn't sure. It would have been chaos if they did. This time they do go. Underarm throw, geez, I reckon he was out if he hit. But he didn't even pick up the ball, it seems.
It's all happening. I'll tell you what, that was a risky single, but they got away with it. So they've got to take it, though, don't they? They've got to put pressure on the fieldsman, because that required rate is going up every over.
Yeah, they certainly would have seen the way that East Torrens played, turning the score over constantly and then just cashing in big time. Gatting beaten on the outside. Through the keeper, all the way through, given us buys, which won't please the keeper, but it will relieve the bowler somewhat. Might see that again to see if it wobbled after it went past the bat, but straight through the keeper's gloves, through his legs, and all the way to the rope.
Well, they've lost two quick wickets here, Gully, but the scores are, well, the scoreboard is ticking over. We're into the third over. It's 2 for 22. And earlier today, of course, East Torrens made 175 from their allotted 20 overs. So Gully, if you've just joined us, are chasing 176 for victory.
On Yorker, leg stump. Well dug out by Gatting. Cornish having a bit of a horror over in that one. The throw came into him at his toes as well, but that ends the over. A good one from Luke Robins. Gully relieved that they didn't lose a wicket again. As you've said, these two really are the pair that are going to have to get this innings back on track. We bat for maybe 3 overs just to settle the momentum down. Cranmer continues. Gatting just pushes to mid-wicket, no run.
Gee, looks like an awkward play to face, Cranmer, and you've just come to the crease, so Gatting's on strike. Davies at the non-striker's end, and he's just bowling those little Well, around the wicket off spinners.
Push the mid off, run 3 for 1.
Both sides actually using a lot of spin, a lot of medium pace. Only Atkinson really was an out-and-out fast bowler in the T20 Gully lineup, and probably you got to say at the moment only Luke Robins for East Torrens.
Now, I was looking down with you at the paperwork we had. I think I might have just seen the signal for a free hit. We'll find out. Or possibly not. Gone straight through everyone. Dragged back in by Joel Size in front of the side screen. Again, that one going through Cornish.
So Dave, you'll be pleased to get off the mark there.
Wide outside leg stump. You'd think if he left that, it was a wide. Umpire checks his watch. He's got somewhere to be. Getting again outside leg stump. Wanted to set off for the run. Got shut down. Ends the over. T20 Gully 4 in the 4th over. A 2 for 24. It looks like we have a change in the bowling. It is going to be Joel Size, who a good piece of fielding in that last over to come into the attack.
Yeah, so T20 Gully, of course, need another 152 to win from 16 overs. They need 152 off 96 balls with 8 wickets in hand.
Good shot there of some of the crowd in, some of the faithful. Joel Scythe take up the attack. Oh, charging is getting. In fact, it's Davey. He might have hit that one over the top of the shed.
Well, that is the biggest 6 we've seen today. We've seen Robins hit some massive 6s. Lehman's hit a couple. That was the best of them all from Davey. What a way to go from 1 to 7. He's just come to the crease, and a magnificent shot.
Made a hell of a noise when it came off the bat. The way he came down the track, he just looked a bit like Gadding. I got the wrong call in it. Deserved better than that from me, because I'm pretty sure that he's going to want to see that again. He got every piece of it.
I actually know Tim. Davey. I've actually used to work with him as a teacher at the same school. So big shout out there. Great shot.
I hope he's got some insurance, because I reckon he's hit someone's car. He got some T20 Gully players over around the back of the grandstand. Umpires not for the first time today getting together to discuss some of the balls. What's going to happen? I think we're going to need a new one.
All I can say is I'm just glad I parked on the other side of the ground.
So there they are. So that's out near the road. So that's where you drive in. That's how far it's gone, if they can find it. And they might have given up the ghost, because it doesn't look like they've come back with a ball. And they've just decided, no, too long, or no, maybe it's the other side.
It was just a magnificent shot, wasn't it? He just took him on. And the score goes now to 30. So T20 Gully are 2 for 30, and they're making a fist of this. They're not going to lie down. 2 early wickets.
It's only going to take a couple of overs with this 2 at the crease. And when I say a couple, I'm talking 4 to 5. Now they've grabbed another ball, or they've found the other ball, which was in a different postcode. And that one's now back in the umpire's hand. We've got you might, if we're lucky enough to get some vision of it, they're up on the roof looking for balls. Well, that's insane. That might be Braddles. Back to live action. Tom Davies smashes it through mid-wicket. 6-4, he's gone. Working him Joel Size to the crease.
Geez, this is good to watch, isn't it? He's just using all of his experience. I've played first-class cricket, is what he's probably saying to himself, and these guys haven't. Well, Size certainly hasn't, so... Well, he's raced to 11.
This time he goes back behind point. They've got one out there. Misfield didn't go through and get to the rope, but he's going to allow, with the misfield, for Tim Davey to get back on strike. So 12 off 3 balls so far. Joel Size will be trying to work out how I'm going to close out this over. And you get the feeling if Tim Davey gets anything anywhere near where he wants it, he's going to be looking to go over the rope. Charges, does get one where he wants it. Doesn't go over the rope, but a couple of bounces through a vacant slips cordon. And that's 4 more. So 16 so far off the over. Tim Davey making his own charge at this score.
Well, he's put pressure back on these Torrens players, hasn't he? He said, well, we're not going to lie down. We're the mighty T20 Gully Bulls. We've won more premierships than you have in the last decade. We're the probably almost the team of the decade, really.
That one goes straight up in the air. Joel Size is the last laugh. Tim Davies' brief innings comes to an end. It was an over that Joel Size is pretty happy to get out of with the wicket. Included a monstrous 6. But at the end of the day, the young fella's going to say, I win.
Yeah, spot on. It was, gee, just didn't need it, did they, T20 Gully? He'd done all the hard work in that over. Made all the runs, as you said. Well, that's a big blow.
Yeah, it was short and wide. Lost his shape going be too hard at it. You saw his hand come off the bat. Never a good indication.
Yeah, certainly a big wicket though, wasn't it? That was well, you've got to say, the run rate is no problem at the moment. We're into the 5th over. T20 Gully are now 3 for 40, but what is the problem is those top 3 batsmen, they're all gone.
Now it's the keeper batsman who comes in. Halliday. He gets a short one from Size. Gets that to jump off a length. Fizzes through to the keeper, ends the over. Plenty of runs, but the prize wicket of Tim Davey in it.
So that's 5 overs gone, and T20 Gully are 2 for 40. Well, there were 16 runs off that over, off the first 4 balls, then a wicket, then a dot ball. It was a pretty eventful over, and probably the biggest 6 we've seen out here today.
Gunning just works one through mid-wicket. Continues to roll that scoreboard over. Cranmer continues. This be his 3rd on the bounce. Gully works one off his toes. Gets his inning started. So as we've said, probably repetitively today, they rebuild again. These two will have to bat for a couple of overs. As with Tim Davey did, put some pressure on somehow. See if we can get the way that East Torrens are going about their game to change. if they come up with 6 and over just in that manner with comfortable singles all the leg sides so far.
It is impressive though from T20 Gully, isn't it? They're not saying, well, this is too hard and we're not even, you know, they're actually having a go here. They're actually really, they're not trying to protect wickets either. They're saying, well, we're going to go for this. If we get bowled out, we get bowled out. But we're actually going to try to get these runs. We're not waiting. We're not holding back. We're not going to leave it to the end. They're just going for it from ball one.
Yeah, which is, they won the toss, elected to bowl. So still looking for cricket balls up on the roof there. Or maybe, maybe waiting for a catch. Or stuck up there maybe. They wanted to come down. It's going to be Joel Size to continue. But yeah, they elected to bowl first, so they actually elected to bat second. Chasing them down is their preference. In doing that, you know that means sometimes you're going to be chasing big scores. They back themselves to bat pretty deep to keep going all the way through the innings. Halliday beaten outside of the odds is off stump. Wishy-washy out there. No conviction. He's got some zip, Joel Size, hasn't he?
He certainly has. I'll tell you what, that really hit the gloves hard. He's really and to go for 16 off your first 4 balls and then to come back with a wicket, a dot ball, and now another dot ball is fantastic for him.
It's full size as his own fielding. Yeah, he got one to zip through Halliday already. Really jumped on him. The one in this over was the second time he's done it. He was out there pretty early this morning. It was a pretty green track. Halliday goes straight up in the air. Catch is taken by Cramner. Back-to-back wickets for Joel Size, where he took some tap when he came into the over, or into the attack. But since then, he struck twice. His answer has been emphatic.
Well, that's the way they play, isn't it, T20 Gully? They are just going for it, and they're losing wickets going about it, but they're still trying. Cranmer, you cannot keep him out of this game with bat, baller in the field. And East Torrens now are well on top here. As T20 Gully now slump to 4 for 46.
So Halliday goes, Polyak comes in. And Joel Size has been a bit of a revolution here since taking his wicket. Doesn't really, if you saw him in the street, you wouldn't pick him as a quick. Again, it's short and wide and called wide. Not much of him. So he doesn't spend too much time in the strong room, you wouldn't think.
You don't see too many fast bowlers wearing long sleeves either.
No.
That's the other thing that normally, wearing the short sleeves. So he, as we said, went for 16 off 4. Since then, it's taken 2 for none. Will they consolidate here? Will they just say to themselves now, T20 Gully, well, we've gone hard. It hasn't quite worked. Can we now just almost play the middle overs, just hit the singles and twos, see if we can at least then allow us to launch for the last 5 overs perhaps. There's 2 more quick wickets here and they're all but gone.
On edge through the vacant cordon again. It's going to race down to the rope. 4 runs for Polyak. Not the way that he would have liked to get himself started, but he'll take them. When I say the vacant slip score, there would have had to been about 5 of them in there. And the day that you see that in a T20 game will be something amazing. He's got some wheels. He's impressed me, Joel Size. Again, he's short back of a length. That's his length. You don't need too many in front of the bat because he doesn't bowl anything to drive. You might be able to start to build a cordon for him. You started the Luke Robins fan club.
Yeah.
I'll create the Joel Size fan club and see if I can get him a fifer. It's going to be Cranmer's going to bowl himself out.
So that's 7 overs, and Gully are 4 for 53. So nothing wrong with their run rate. Almost going at 8 and over. Just that wickets column, of course, 4 down. But Cranmer, as we said, not often see this. He's going to bowl his 4 overs straight out, as you've said. And why not?
Full Polyak punching that through cover. Got cover out there.
Kind of frustrates me, Pickles, when you see in the Big Bash, you see a bowler bowl 2 or 3 really good overs. And I always say, why doesn't the captain keep him on and bowl him out?
The big sweep shot, try to melt that one through square leg. Took some pad. Cranmer thought it was pretty close.
He's bowling well. Why not bowl out? So Cranmer, the captain, he's going to bowl himself straight out here in 4 overs.
Gutting moves outside leg stump to play it through the offside. A lot of work to do to get it through to long off. Wind picks up again here. This one Polyak gets a better piece of it, gets it behind square.
So Gadding's certainly the key here, the key man. The man in form for Gully, number 58 there on your screen. And as long as he is still there, well, you've got to say, Pickles, that Gully will still give themselves some faint hope.
Yeah, all they need is someone at the other end to hang around for a while. With that run rate, as it was, started at 9, they're never going to be able to sit themselves down and have a couple of overs of 4 and 3 because it'll just go through the roof. So they have to keep scoring, have to keep capitalising on the bad balls. And Joel Size is going to have a spell. He's going to take his 2 wickets and sit down.
Yeah, so Cranmer's bowled out. The other 4 overs have been made up by Luke Robins, who bowled 2, and Size has bowled 2. So we've now got the other Robins, T. Robins. He'll be bowling his first over. And Gully, after 8 overs, they're 4 for 56. We're into the 9th over now.
Joel Size, he went for 16 off 4 balls. Ends up with 2 for 23 off his 2 overs, so it's a great comeback from the young quick. Tight, that was quick. Came on to Polyak faster than he knew. Might have caught a piece of the forearm, but it was there before he wanted it to be. rehearsing the shot now. I think that struck him rather than him striking it. There is the young quick Joel Size. A bit more content than he was after 16 runs had been thundered from him.
I think you're his biggest fan at the moment. You're disappointed he's not continuing to bowl here.
Everyone needs a fan.
Tell you what a bowling lineup they've got. Still got Cormac, of course, who could perhaps bowl. Lehman could come on, and there's a couple of others there. So they've still got all bases covered at the moment, East Torrens. And singles aren't enough.
Polak might have just jarred his hand on that one, just ringing it off the bat, though that might still be from the ball before. It looks pretty sore. Tate Robins, you wonder if that one had hit how close it was. You might have picked up on the mic screams from Cornish maybe to hit him, and it was a call that with some purpose. Athletic piece of work off his own bowling. Like the rest of his teammates have done with the ball, he's been able to cramp up his T20 Gully batters, not allow too much room, allow them to swing their arms and get free. It's also caused Gatting to have to walk around the crease. He's played a lot of shots through the offside, but he's been a mile outside leg stump.
That's 9 overs now gone, and T20 Gully are 4 for 59. So that run rate now just slowing up. They probably need a big over, don't they?
Yeah, they're going to have to go. Cormac's new into the attacks. There might be a chance here to take one down before the bowler's settled. Gatting tries to power it through cover.
And there's another one of those all-rounders East Torrens have got, we've spoken about. So Cormac now, as you said, Pickles is into the attack.
Polyak thinks about two. He's going to come back for two. Good running. Certainly going to be an avenue they're going to have to explore in regards.
Cormac, of course, was on the Adelaide Strikers list last season. Not on it this season, though. They've got an 18-player list, and he's not on it. Can still be drafted in, though, of course, if there are injuries.
That one's hit straight to cover. Gatting tried to go through the offside one too many times. As he leaves, you wonder, is that the end of the road for T20 Gully? Is it a bridge too far? Is a mountain too high? 175 seems a long way away right now, as you're only batting with the bottom half of your batting lineup. Cormac into the attack again. You can see him outside leg stump, but he couldn't have picked cover out any better.
Yeah, that's a big blow, isn't it? Gatting, well, you just sensed he was ready to launch, and, well, that is a massive blow, and T20 Gully now are 5 for 62 in the 10th over.
So Purnell comes to the crease. And it's, I would be saying all or nothing now. All the information, all the instructions coming from the dugout. would be just swing now, boys. I don't think the tail, the second half of the order, is going to be able to bat themselves back into the game. See if you can just get going. You can come up with a 6 and a 4 in each over, well then we'll get there. But don't get out.
Yep, easier said than done.
Gets a good one straight away, does Pennell. Comes off the back of the bat. Runs away to third man.
That's good fielding there, wasn't it, from Dale? Or Dahl, so that, I thought they were going to get 3 there, but only 2, so good fielding performance here from East Torrens and bowling performance.
Now, if it was a direct hit from my man, would have been a real tight call. He's fielding inside the ring, that fine leg. Pennell just tucked it around the corner and then took off. Joel Size couldn't affect the run out. And when you see those sorts of runs happening, you know it's pressure time. You know that it's every run must count. Every one we can't afford to sit on too much. And that's the sort of stuff that that happens when you post 175. You've got the luxury of things occurring like a Tim Davey blast where he goes 16 in 4 balls without it affecting the pressure valve that's out there, because you have to just keep going at that rate.
Yeah, and that is 10 overs now down, isn't it? And they're 5 for 65, so...
A 10 and over from here on still doesn't get the job done.
No. Like, what do they need? They're chasing 176. As Tate Robins now bowls his second over, but yeah, they need 110 more, don't they? And those, well, 59 balls left, so 110 off 59, so it's about 11 and over, isn't it?
Once it gets to over 10, it's hard yards. Tate Robins to continue. Polyak, who goes over the top of mid-off. Got a fair piece of it. Joel does some good work down there.
That's your man.
And the throw is good over the top of the stumps as well.
Yeah, that's right. So they need almost 2 a ball, don't they? So they've got to start hitting a few 4s and 6s here.
Whipped around the corner from Pennell. Gets himself 1.
I like the way Cranmer's rotated his bowlers here. He's bowled out his 4. He's used Luke Robins, T. Robins, Cormac, and Size as well. So really just rotating the bowlers.
Well, he's gone 5 overs of spin straight at the other end.
Yep.
Tate jams one. A Yorker right in the right spot. Polyak good enough to get some bat on it. Jarred his hand again. But that was zeroing in on leg stump.
I wonder whether he goes for the kill here and actually bowls his best bowlers out, brings Luke Robins back in, or does he bring in a 5th bowler now?
Polyak goes down the ground. It's through the legs of Luke Robins. They come back for 2. Won't be happy with that. The big all-rounder, he reenacts what he should have done. Umpire taking a good look to make sure that ball didn't hit the helmet. Got pretty close. Beast burst through the gloves of Cornish. Ends the over. Another time. He's having some real trouble with his hands, Polyak. Takes the glove off now. He's jarred it a couple of times. I think he's been struck on the forearm by Tate Robins. That's giving him some grief. That's the grief. That's the last thing they need.
So what's that? It's and that's 11 overs gone, isn't it? So 5 for 72. 9 overs left. 54 balls remaining.
The spin continues from the far end. That's 6 overs on the bounce.
Make that 53 balls remaining, and they need 103 more. So yeah, it's just creeping up, isn't it, Pickles, every over?
Probably gets one he likes down leg side, gets it over the top of the fielder in the circle and beats the sweeper. And capitalises with a boundary. Well, both these players out there look like they can hold a bat. Polyak batting under a bit of sufferance with that right hand, or this time he goes straight, but they've got cover down there at long off.
And it might be strange to say, but because they're in such a difficult position here, T20 Gully, that these two players can almost play with a bit of freedom. They're not expected to get it.
But no, just noodles that one around the corner. There's plenty of space for ones and twos now because of the spread field. Well, Polyak, he changed his mind about 3 times on what he wanted to do. I reckon the first one was to go square, long and big long bomb, the cow corner. Then he thought about letting it go and then just gliding it to third man. In the end, he missed it. Well gloved for Cornish. Again, he goes leg side. Can't beat the sweeper out there. Ends the over, 1 run off the last ball. Polyak really ringing that hand.
That's 5 for 80 after 12.
Might be another change in the bowling here. It is. It's going to take him a long time to bowl if he's going to run in like that. It's going to be Gleedle. Taking over at the commentary end. Hope you're enjoying the live stream today. Don't have the graphics we normally do. Gleedle's first ball is cut square and wide. The fielding out on the rope is superb. That was a boundary the minute it came off the bat. Again, it flies through the gloves of Cornish. And they still won on the overthrow. So, great piece of work out in the rope to save, or cut it in half. It was 4. He got it back to 2. Then they give one up on the overthrow.
Well, they've got to go now, don't they? This is the 5th bowler used. The 5th bowler, you know, they haven't been able to get either Robins away, or Size, or Cormac, or Cranmer. In fact, this is now the 6th bowler used.
The change up does the job.
Yep, the 6 bowler use. So they've really got to make sure they have a crack here, T20 Gully. No point now having a gallant loss. They've got to be prepared to get bowled out to win. It's good bowling though from Gleedle. So it's not easy as you know. They've had a very good lineup, and you've still got Jake Lehman who could bowl some balls. I don't think he will bowl.
And unlike the T20 Gully lineup, that other than Atkinson, who was the only real tearaway, this East Torrens lineup has got a few in it that can get through the crease. Gleedle's another one. This one whipped off his toes. Purnell. He's got better and better with every ball that he's faced.
Well, they've got some pace, haven't they? Got some good spin options as well with Cranmer and Cormac, but then they've got the Robins brothers, they've got Size and now Gleedle. All right arm quicks.
Digs that one in, goes flat and wide. Well played from Polyak. Hit that perfectly.
They still believe, don't they, T20 Gully? I just had a look at their huddle then when that ball went for 6, and they're all, you know, they're on their feet clapping. They've still got some belief out here.
As we said, this pair, both of them look as though they can hold a bat. And they've been together for a little bit now. Starting to put together some runs. And all of a sudden, boundary's starting to flow. You start to get the momentum to swing back your way. New bowler comes into the attack. Gleedle may get hit out of the attack.
And that is a big over, wasn't it? That was a crucial over there for T20 Gully. 13 overs now gone, and they're 5 for 94.
And eventually Polyak's succumbed to the hand. He's going to get some treatment for the first time. Might have got the magic spray or the painkiller. But it is going to be Cormac to continue.
So Cormac now into his 3rd over. So you sense he'll bowl out. Cranmer, the other spinner, has already bowled out.
Pinelli gets across in line. Umpire says you're dead in line. Cormac gets his first wicket. And just as this partnership was starting to build nicely, Cormac breaks it. LBW.
Yeah, they just can't get away, can they, T20 Gully? Every time they put a little partnership together, another wicket falls, and yeah, it's just good captaincy and good bowling.
You see him here, he goes a long way across. First step is across almost to off stump, almost outside off stump. Umpire had a long look at it and then decided, yep, that was out. And Macy comes to the crease.
And T20 Gully now 6 for 94 here in the 14th over. Still need another 82 for victory. And, well, 82 runs, 40 balls remaining.
Polyak's the key from here. It's, you know he's already put the foot on the accelerator. As he gets one floated up to him, first ball outside off stump. He pushes to the long off, takes the one. It's going to leave the hitting to Polyak. Long side out on his leg side. A lot of rope to get to there. Just works it off his toes along on. One more.
They've got a good side, haven't they, East Torrens? They've just got, well, they've got variety, haven't they, in this attack with the spinners. They've got a couple of medium paces and the real out-and-out quicks, and their batting lineup, we've spoken about that earlier. They bat deep, and they posted 175 today off their 20 overs.
Macy comes down the track but can't beat cover. Macy gets a bit of bat on that one. It's going to bounce over the head of Size. They might get back for two, they do. So he's come in playing his shots. He's going to have to.
Yeah, six wickets down to T20 Gully now for 98. Still require a further 78 for victory. And, well, they just need a one big over, really. Or probably more than that, but that is a very good over from Cormac. East Torrens completely on top here. 14 overs gone. And T20 Gully are 6 for 98. Be interesting to see what Mike Crammer does here, whether he continues with Gleedle or he brings back Luke Robins. And it looks like he's going to continue here with Gleedle. You expect this will be perhaps his final over?
Yeah, with the spread of bowlers that he's got and he's used, he's got plenty of options up his sleeve. Wide. Slap by Polyak out to the man who's sweeping out there on the rope.
So Gleedle into his second over. Size has bowled 2 overs. T. Robins 2 overs. L. Robins 2 overs. Cormac's bowled 3 and Crammer has bowled all 4.
So all spin from the far end.
And all bowling out in a row, aren't they? Crammer bowled his 4 in a row. Now Cormac's bowled 3 in a row from that end. So they obviously know this pitch. They know the ground. They know where to bowl the spinners from. They know where they want their pace bowlers to be at.
Little goes full. Squeeze to the leg side. Polyak continues just to tick the scoreboard over. He's out there with Macy, who waited on the slow ball. Went to third man. Took off for the single. It was all played in the end.
So this is the, well, it's meant to be round 3, but it is the second game of this 6-game season, isn't it? So yeah, each side plays 6 games.
Polyak all over the place, slipped over and a no ball, so we'll get a free hit on the end of it. He's trying to make some room for himself. Then in stepping back to get in line with the shot, his feet went from out underneath him. All the while, the feet of Gleedle went over the line. Free hit. Steps across, goes up and under. Big. Luke Robins gets underneath it, goes over his head for 6. Oh, maximum off of the free hit. So the no ball and then the 6. Polyak just keeping this game alive for the Gullies.
It's just what they needed, isn't it? They've got the no ball, the free hit, the 6. Can they get another one?
Jams down on the Yorker from Gleedle. Goes out to mid-on. They decide to go. Macy comes back. Beats the throw. Good hard running.
Well, they're playing like a side that's got a good, strong culture and have won a few premierships in the last, well, few years. And that's what they are, T20 Gully, aren't they?
Really bringing that hand there is Polyak. Interested to find out what happened to it, if it's something that he went into the game with, or did he cop one during the game, but it's giving him some grief. And you're right, Cormac is going to bowl himself out, so that'll be 8 unbroken from that end.
Yep. And we've had 15 overs here, and they're 6 for 111. So 5 overs to go, 30 balls to go.
Macy again uses his feet to the spinner. But the cover out there at long off does the work, keeps it to 1. Not a bad result because you'd want Polyak on strike for the majority of the time. He goes up and under, all the way back to the cricket nets, but it's fallen short of the rope. Catch is taken. And Polyak, just as he was starting to get going, as has been the motif for the entire day for this T20 Gully side.
Yep.
Every time they look like they're getting going, something goes wrong.
Hitting into the wind with that one as well, and just held up, didn't it? And crucial catch really, because if that goes for 6, well, there's still a chance. But T20 Gully now, you've got to say, are in big trouble here. They're 7 for 112. They still require a further 64 from 28 balls. So Atkinson, the pace bowler, is the new man at the crease, coming in at number 9.
It was Tate Robins who sat underneath that catch. He's out there for a long time. Didn't have to move, did not take a step. Couldn't have picked him out any better if he tried. It's been impressive display from the spinners at one end. Macy gets a wide one, he can't beat cover. Another ball that he could have left and would have got the wide for it.
Yeah, very impressive, hasn't it? Cranmer and Cormac, they're both, I mean, they're almost true all-rounders in this game because they both bat in the top 4 or 5. They both bowl.
Macy again uses his feet to the spinner. He's done that pretty well since coming to the crease.
And you can see why they've been on Redback's squads and lists and Adelaide Strikers lists as Cormac, and you can certainly see why they can play as either a bowler or a batsman really. Certainly at this level they can.
The open stance from the big quick Atkinson. He knows one way. But it went wide of him. Went through the keeper. They got back for 2 wides.
Yeah, and wide's given as well. So that'll be an extra ball. So,
and as we know, you get 1 for the wide and
1 for the wide and 2 for the run. So that's 3 off that ball, and they got to re-bowl it.
It's common knowledge.
Not called a wide, that one. So, but tell you what, there is net run rate with the ladder. They want to make sure they don't, I guess, get bowled out completely now and lose by, 60 odd runs. They want to at least get as close as they can. They want to bet out the 20 overs. So there's no doubt they need to get as close as they can. We've had 16 overs now. What a spell from both spinners, Cormac and Cranmer. So 16 overs. T20 Gully are 7 for 117. They're chasing 176 for victory after East Torrens earlier today made 175. So with 4 overs remaining, to keep you informed here, T20 Gully need 59 off 24 balls. 59 from 24 balls with 3 wickets in hand.
Luke Robins back into the attack to help finish things off from the commentary end. Atkinson gets one through the Gully region. He's going to race away. His brother Tate can't reel it in, and the big quick gets 4. You might be able to hear a fair bit of chainsawing in the background. Earlier in the day, a monstrous tree fell down. There's enough wood over there to build Noah's Ark at one stage. They're slowly getting it through the churner. Atkinson this time opens the shoulders, goes down the ground. Seisel does the fielding.
Yeah, that equation now 54 off 22 balls.
Certainly still doable. They're going to need some maximums.
And 3 wickets in hand, of course. So
slow ball was well bowled. Macy was committed to the stroke. Was playing the right stroke too. Was trying to mow that over mid-wicket. Was outsmarted by Luke Robins, who earlier today put on a hitting display. Was caught on the rope in the last over, trying to clear it to make his 50. Just fell short. Macy jams down on one.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see who gets the man of the match, whether it's Lehman for his 70-odd or whether it's Luke Robins, who was unbelievable, really. If you've just joined us, 49 off 20-odd balls and now has bowled magnificently as well.
Over the top, Macy goes. Back over the keeper's head. We've seen that so many times today. Another boundary to Macy. Luke Robins shaking his head as he walks back to his mark. Can't believe it. We can't set a field to that. He's got his brother Tate down there at third man. It's too quick for him even.
Well, that target now, 50, exactly 50 off 90 balls. 19 balls, so 19.
I should stroll in.
Well, they'll get it easily. No, 19, so 50 off 19.
Macy tried to glide that one down to third man. Couldn't get anything on it. Ends the over. A bit of a mouthful from Luke Robins to finish it off as well. As you just heard, with now 3 overs, 18 balls remaining and 50 runs to get. It'll be a Herculean effort if they can come up with this T20 Gully. There's some big men involved in the game at the moment. Tate Robins is going to come back to the attack. First time we haven't seen spin from that end today from East Torrens. And he's going to be bowling to T20 Gully, big quick. Atkinson, he let rip earlier in the day, hurried up a few of the East Torrens players.
Geez, what a bowling lineup it is. They've, as you said, they've just had those spinners, Cranmer and Cormack, who've bowled the entire innings at that end. Now they've got Tate Robins bowling his third over. Perhaps him and his brother Luke will bowl out here, you sense. So the big man size bowled 2 great overs. Well, certainly bowled after his first 4 balls. He was magnificent. Looks like he may not get another over.
May not see him again.
He certainly really came back well, didn't he? He went for 16 off his first 4 balls, did size, and then took 2 wickets.
Yeah, you got hit for a towering 6 from Tim Davey over the top of the centre, whatever that we'll call that. Atkinson backs away, backs too far. Tate Robins crashes in the leg stump. It's probably never the shot to play to the leg stump Yorker. His brief stint at the crease is over. You can see him back a long way away, and Tate Robins crashed into the stumps.
Yeah, well, he had to do it. They needed 15 off 18 balls, so they needed a big over, really. He had to go. And, well, T20 Gully now in all sorts of bother here. 8 for 126. And they now require 50 runs off 17 balls with 2 wickets in hand.
Noddle, the spinner, opened the bowling today from this end. He's next man in, the lefty. So there'll be quite a few adjustments in the field as they switch it over from left to right. A lot colder in the last probably 5 overs. 46 it was yesterday.
It's either too hot in Adelaide or too cold at the moment.
Bushfires all over the place. We thoughts go out to the fireys doing their work.
Big, great effort. Almost got the catch there, but they get a single.
I was just waiting to see some reaction and whether or not that was a catch or did Noddle get that on the half volley. So he's spooned that up. So that's the reason it was the oohs and ahs. It would have been 2 and 2 for Tate Robins. End result though is a single to Noddle. He's at the other end and Macy back on strike. Again he goes the leg stump. It's Tate Robins. Macy.
48 required now from 15, so a lot of work to do. 2 wickets in hand. And you spoke about earlier, Pickles, that East Torrens had played 1 game and won 1. T20 Gully have played 1 and lost it. So you can say now that after 2 games, if this goes according to plan, East Torrens will be 2 wins from 2 games. And T20 Gully will be 2 losses from their first 2 games.
Flies off the bat of Noddle. The third man. They'll be happy with that. Just take the 1. Yeah, so amazingly, T20 Gully would have lost 2 games in round 3 and yet to play round 2.
Yep, round 2 was meant to be played, of course, last evening, but called off due to the heat. Will now be played in Tuesday, January the 14th, it is. All those games will be played.
Macy gives himself some room. Can't generate the big stroke that he's after.
46 off 13 now, so too much to do, unfortunately, because when Davey and Gadding were there was still a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, there was plenty of chances during the innings that you thought that if this pair can stick around, we said this pair a lot.
Yep.
Noddle gets a 4-1 leg side, turns it round the corner. Ends the over. Good one from Tate Robins. Took a wicket. Successful one. Got rid of the big quick Atkinson.
Yeah, so that's 18 overs gone. T20 Gully 8 for 131.
And you've picked it correctly. It is going to be the Robins brothers to close it out. Luke now back into the attack.
Expect Tate to bowl the other one at the other end, so Cranmer bowled his 4, Cormac 4, Luke Robins now in his 4th. Tate Robins has bowled 3 and Size has bowled 2 and Gleedle 2. Jake Lehman not required with the ball.
It's been very obvious by actually not seeing him today in the field. Well, that sight screen's going to go right in front of the commentary box. Right smile from the Gully boys moving it around. The keeper and also the big quick doing that for us. Luke Robins tries to zero in on leg stump.
Yeah, so only 6 games played, isn't there? So it's a 6-round season, and you've got to say that T20 Gully are all but almost gone. 2 losses from their first 2 games. They could still make it if they could win their last 4.
And crunched down the ground. Didn't quite get it. With Macy.
And East Torrens will go to equal top of the ladder.
Atkinson and Holiday will continue doing The most unenviable job in world cricket. Sight screen maintenance. Robin gets that one aerial. Bounces past Joel Size. It's about the only thing he's done wrong today. I couldn't see any of that. I'm blocked by the side screen.
I'm just looking at the magnificent Adelaide live stream pictures here on the screen, so don't worry about their side screen there.
Now Wyatt takes off for the run. If he's hit, I reckon he was gone. Noddle.
He's gone by a mile, wasn't he?
Cornish got rid of the glove. There goes Noddle. He's off for the run. Macy says no.
The ball was almost closer to hitting the batsman than the actual stumps.
Whenever tailenders get together, the running can always get a little bit comical. Luke Robbins again zeroes in on that leg stump. Takes a deflection, beats them both. His brother can't reel it in. 4 more to the total. Noddle will take him any way he can get him.
Well, at least they're fighting this out, aren't they, T20 Gully? They're still... The score goes to 8 for 139. So they need 37 more to win. And my calculations are we've got 7 balls to go.
It's going to be an exciting last over if they get there. So that ends the penultimate over from Luke Robbins.
So, well, they do need 36 from 6, so there's still a chance. 8 for 140 is the score. Earlier today, East Torrens made 175 from their 20 overs.
Well, you'll know the result of this game at the conclusion of this very first ball. Actually, you won't, because if he hits one, it's game on.
Oh, it could be a no ball, could be a wide, but yeah, you're right. This first ball will tell a big tale here. It's game on.
Goes high.
It is game on.
Goes long. Gets 6. There's the first of them. 5 more to come.
There we go.
Could we be witnessing history here? Campbelltown Oval. 36 required on the last over. And the first one from Noel has gone sailing over the rope.
Make it 30 from 5 now. Tell you what, he hits another one here. This will make it interesting.
A few hearts might start racing a little bit faster. That one, the Yorker, jammed down on. Beautifully bowled. Very hard to hit those for 6. He's kicking the dust at the other end at the crease. But there wasn't a hell of a lot he could have done with it.
Yeah, I looked up at the umpire. I was actually hoping it might have been a no ball and there's an extra ball and a free hit, but no. 29 required off 4. So it's game over.
This time it's Macy who goes over the top. He takes 6. Well, it's not done yet.
I'll tell you what, it is not done yet. 23 off 3. They need a no ball, of course, or a wide. 5 wides would be nice.
Backed away, opened it up, sliced it over the top of point. Thundered into the fence. Well, talk about timing your run right at the right time. Perhaps they've measured it perfectly.
You can just tell they've been a strong side. They've been a great side for a number of years. Just the way they've gone about this. They've been in all sorts of trouble, but they've kept going.
Bouncer from Macy, that's a wide. Well, that goes with the script. And they take 1 extra.
That's 2 and an extra ball. Unfortunately, it didn't go for 4 because that would have made things interesting.
And that just goes to show you what happens when it gets a little bit tight. Now, we were expecting the team here to hit 6 sixes, consecutive balls. They've only hit 2.
Look at this.
And the bowler evolves, goes back to a big bounce and it goes over the head. Pressure just starts. Now there's changes all over the field.
They need 22 or 3 balls, and there's almost panic in the East Torrens out in the field at the moment. It's moving the field all around.
Noto, he got the ball he wanted to. Got a chance to get underneath it and get over the leg side. They've probably got the right batter on strike with that short boundary on the leg side.
Well, they shouldn't be disappointed at T20 Gully. They've thought this out. East Torrens are going to win. They're going to be happy.
It's not over yet. Might be another tail. Not on this one. The French cut. But doesn't get it down to the boundary for 4. Brings Macy back on strike. They've made short work of that tree.
Yeah, so they just lost clumps of wickets early, didn't they, T20 Gully? They just couldn't get a partnership going. Davey played a magnificent little cameo, 17 off 9, I reckon it was. If he'd stayed there, perhaps things could have been different.
Macy gets a 4-1 outside off stump. Again, it bursts through Cornish. They steal a bye. Off the last ball of the innings. Victory goes to East Torrens. The 175 was just too much to chase down. They could never really get going. They didn't have a partnership that did the job for them. Every time that looked like they were going to get somewhere, they took a wicket. Bit of panic late in the day. Got themselves to a position, East Torrens, T20 Gully rather. They needed 36 off the last over. Well, they went hit 6 off the first 2 balls, and you thought, could we be seeing it? But sanity prevailed, and East Torrens here have won their 2nd game of the West End T20 Cup. Until you see us again, hope you enjoy the highlights. Make sure you see the stream, share it around. I've been Adrian Pickles on behalf of Paul Bonda, Daniel Frangos, and all the team here at Adelaide Live Stream. Thanks for watching. Good night.